So, Brandon, please, go to the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here.
Director Baxter.
Here.
Director Clayton.
Here.
Director Brown.
Here.
President Moreno is absent.
First, item on our agenda, the minutes of the regular meeting of June 8th, 2023. I'll make a motion to be approved as written. I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. We'll move on to our committee reports.
So, Mr. Vice President, the City and County Liaison Committee met yesterday with Director Basket, myself, his council member Gloria Soto, and Assistant City Manager Andrew Ackelman. We addressed a number of issues, including the well 6 water line project, Pioneer Park, and its future, Sturco, and our shared issues with that property, and our continued work on its strategic plan update.
Then we'll move on to our general manager. But Martin, you still have the
So we, some of the things we've done, so last week, Carrie and I were in Milwaukee with our airline service development consultant, Trina, at what's called Jumpstart. We met with 3 different airlines. As well as could be expected, we had a little surprise when we were invited to a meeting with Southwest that we didn't ask for, and we were kind of surprised by it. Nothing to get excited about, but they just wanted to have a conversation with us and thought maybe in the future there would be an opportunity. And we agreed to provide some information to them, and so that was a pleasant surprise. Probably all know, I think you were all invited to the last Thursday was the Plains of Fame Airfest barbecue that I think went really well. They shared this year's artwork, so if you need any flyers that you'd like to distribute, let me know, I can give them to you. Had a phone call last week with the director of utilities, Shade Spring with the city. And we had a good conversation on how to proceed on well 6. You can hire Italian Engineering to provide a legal description and easement. You can hire the appraiser to provide the appraised value for that easement. Some of you may recall there's some discussion about some additional work being done as part of that project. It would be beneficial for the district for development. I asked them to consider, he was receptive to the idea of added an alternate to the bid that would include that work. And with the understanding that any value that was for the district, or we'd have to pay for that. But that would provide a mechanism for us for your board to consider funding that work as part of that project, or not, without impacting the actual water in the project. So he's going to get back to me in this amazing way. We met with our appraiser and discussed a number of different projects that you're all very familiar with, and got some good information. He's working on some things for us. So, and other than that, I just trying to get help.
Thank you, Martin. We'll go on to manager of finance and administration.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I provided the minister for your review and approval.
Thank you. Questions? All those in favor? Aye.
The other items are informational only, but I would like to bring your attention to the fact that the district has a net income of $1.7 million this year. And that's due in large part to the land sale and the AIP reimbursement, but that is very good news.
Okay, we'll move on to district council.
Thank you, Vice President Adams. I have nothing to report.
Now we'll move to public session. Statements of the floor will be heard during public session. Request to speak for, provided the resolution to address the board. After completing the form, please bring it to the clerk. Request for a board action will be referred to staff and brought on the next appropriate agenda. Members of the public, of course, are invited to speak on agenda items that occur. Staff reports covering agenda items are available to review in the office of the general manager on the Tuesday prior to the meeting. Board will establish a time limit to receive the testimony, which is 3 minutes. The board reserves the right to establish further time limits for receiving the testimony. Do we have any requests to speak on at this time? We'll move on to agenda item 7, which is authorization for 2 directors to attend the CSDA Special District Leadership Academy, to be held October 22nd to 25th in Sonoma County.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. This is a geared towards directors, new and established airport director, board members, and it's a curriculum-based continuing education program. And we feel it would be beneficial to board members to attend this conference.
Call for the motion.
I make a motion that the be approved with the people who are actually going to go for the selected later.
All those in favor? Aye. Authorization for the general manager to enter into an agreement with the California Property and Liquid Asset Security System.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. This was presented to you at the last board meeting, and the district has quite a bit of reserves, and there are some in Pacific Premier that are in the money market that are not earning what LAF is earning. And I think that he explained to you that the maturity levels on these are closer, so that when we get interest, when the interest rates rise, we catch up a lot quicker than we do with LAF because their maturity rates are further out.
I also make a motion to approve that. We've had a nice briefing on it and better management of the money.
I'll second that. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Item number 9, authorization for the president and secretary to execute the 7th amendment of the lease between the district and the city of Santa Maria.
Vice President, the current agreement with the city expires in this month. If you authorize this extension, it will be under existing terms for 6 months, and that will mean that the city manager will be able to execute, so we can expedite it and have an agreement in place before the end of the month, and not let the lease lapse. With that said, there's a continuing conversation with the city about the future of the park, and so I anticipate that we'll be back within that 6 months having continued discussions about future leases.
Quick question, maybe I misread it, but what I read was a 1-year extension.
Yeah, it's got a type over this.
It's supposed to be 6 months.
What's the 6 months and the time that it's got on the 1-year extension? Do we need to do that long? Why don't we do 3 months?
Right, so the first 6 months.
It's gonna take me a time to work out that agreement with the ARP thing, because they're gonna go to March before they make a decision on that.
What thing?
They said that in March, we're talking to the captain, the fire department. He said that by March, they would have a decision on if they would be wanting to come this direction, or if there was other things somewhere else.
So this is on the parks, this is on.
I know, but we're trying to partner up with the city on that ARP program, so this would be like a chip in the game. So I'm thinking 6 months would be good.
I'm thinking 3 is better, because I think that what's happening is we keep postponing. And this, I don't think has anything to do with the fire.
It's all together. We're working with the city on a number of issues, and this is one of them, I understand. And this would be a chip in the game that we can play as we're talking to them about our ARC program, getting that set up with them. Hey, we got that Pioneer Park over there, you're only paying $6,000 a year on it. What are we doing with that? let's be working on that, because that's way under the amount.
Well, the problem we have in this thing here is everybody's different departments, different directions, and it's not getting there. I still stand at 3 months, but it's, we can do 6, with the commitment that we're gonna get this changed in 3. I don't know how that works, but it's.
The motion was for 6, the paper shows a year. I'll vote for either one, 6 or a year, but not 3.
I kind of wanted to do 6 months because that would get us closer to our March date, over there we get a number on what's going on there, and this would arise at about the same time, and that would be great timing.
We concur that, 1-year extension to say 6 months.
Staff's request is 6 months.
So I'll vote, I want to approve the 6 months.
I would second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
No,
What would you prefer?
3 months. With an appraisal and they know what their lease is going to.
I mean, if we don't come to terms in 3 months, we can redo it, it's gonna go on, but we need to have some kind of a lifeline. This is been postponed for 3 years, right now, we've got to push it off.
That makes 3 months work.
It's 3 months, have we had the appraisal done on the property yet?
Appraisal was done a year ago, year and a half ago.
I think
There needs to be a conversation with the city. On what they value it at and what they, I think your subcommittee, your committee needs to have a conversation with the city about the future of the park.
I think we can give a no appraisal on it. Because if I remember correctly, that last appraisal stated that it could only be used in the park and nothing else.
Well, ag, it's listed as ag.
Part of the issue with getting an appraisal is agreeing on what it is, the park, and what's to be appraised at what, what are the comps. And the appraiser's having a problem because there's disagreement on what it is. So I would suggest if you extend this for 3 months, you set up the committee, meet with the city, and then give staff direction on what you need us to appraise.
Okay, what was part of I speak up here at the meeting yesterday with the city. And remember that the park has been there for a long time, it was maintained by the city, it is a public service that we have with the city for the citizens of this district and for this county, this area, that provides a service that's connected to the airport, but has been maintained and built with monuments and everything else over there by the city. I think everybody here has been this 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 501c3 picnics over there, fundraisers over there. So for me, I believe it's not an economic thing, it's a political and service thing for the airport to continue to work with the city at a reasonable rate. They do not make a profit on it. They don't win it for 6,000 and go make 12,000. So, or anything like that. So I go back to my statement. I think
Is this only one way, Dave? This is only one way though, right? The city can charge us full pop for everything they do, but you want to give it the other way.
I think there may be some negotiation, like Mike mentioned here, when we come up here soon for the fire stations, we'll have some negotiation in place, a position or a ship, as he calls it correctly, for those negotiations. But I think right now, remember, and what was stated yesterday by the assistant in Port City, we shut that down and say we're taking away from the city and it's closed, the rates go way up. We'll probably have pickets out here. Do we want that for this airport?
No, I'm with you. I think we ought to get an appraisal done on this, we know how much we're dealing with here.
So we know the information.
We know how much the land, where it all is, and
I mean,
what's
in
the
order
value.
to negotiate, we need to know what it is. And that's part of it.
Fair rental value of it too. If you look at the appraisal on that, let's find out what the fair rental value of that would be.
So Martin, set a committee meeting, we'll go through and do that and then present that to the whole board.
So we could take that back to them and say, look, we've got the appraisal done. and
Here's what it
we're-
is. Right.
And I don't want any to take that on the annex. But I think it's been one way.
I was telling them, I'll get back up.
That's
Well,
all.
we need to actually have you make a decision regarding the lease.
3 months. I hope for 6 months.
3.
You guys have to vote on it.
Okay.
Somebody has to
They already
make a
voted.
We
motion.
already voted.
They voted in the.
Well, yeah, so if they want 3 months, somebody has to make a motion for 3 months and
I'll make a motion, we do it for 3 months, with the idea we can extend it another 3 if we need.
I'll go with that.
Okay, all
second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
We're all on the same page.
thanks, Natalie. Let me back up to number 7, I think I missed that one. You missed it? Yes, I did. You?
No.
We agreed to it, we just haven't, who's going.
That's true. Let's go to, item 10, which is authorization of president to execute the first agreement. Agreement or district continuing one associated with the Federal Airport. Business park specific plan and support services with that on this item. So we get more information on it. And at, this point, then we'll go to closed session. But
We have a visitor here who's got a request to speak form that is going to be ignored.
that was never turned into.
No, okay.
So.
you can just table it. Yeah. If there's somebody that wants to
If
speak.
somebody wants to speak, absolutely. We're backing up to you right now.
You're waiting on me, you're backing up. I'll make it real quick. Good evening, everyone.
You probably gonna talk.
Director. For the record, that park was built with sweat equity by people from this whole area. And I've worked on many projects there. And I'm gonna, for someone to say that the city built all this, the city did a lot of work. Public Works with the county brought equipment over and jumped in and helped. So to say that one agency did it's not really that way. And that park has become a fixture in this area. I mean, we rent that thing every year for our class reunion, for our picnic. We don't go to that park anymore. And I mean, we're getting to be the old group that doesn't even make any much noise anymore, but it needs to be operated and maintained. And, you know, the amount of money, I think you had a committee that worked with the city, they would explain to you how much they spend on everything. They could have a good tracking system. But anything that went toward expanding it or retracting it, I mean, that place is as much habitat as all the rest of this is. And it's been one of the things that makes it beneficial that it's been operated as a park for a long time. If you need to do something, they already know what species are there. And those are the kind of projects usually that you get a take permit so that if something happens, nobody goes to jail for something. But I think if you take a step back and look at it and stay active in it and let the city manage it, I mean, they spend a lot of labor and they've got a lot of administrative stuff they do. They track a lot with it. But I just wanted to make sure that we knew that it's a community park, not just one person's park. And then you guys are the agency that has the duties of managing it because it does belong to the form of government. But I appreciate the fact that each one of you has a different view and everybody's right. Because if that's the way you see it and that's the way it looks, you're gonna say that's right. But we want to remember that it does belong to the people, and that's whose money gets used all the time. Appreciate the time. I hope I didn't take it enough time.
Thank you, Tom.
You,
At this point in time, we'll go into closed session.
And on 10, you tabled that or?
Yep, the table 10. Let the record show that we are out of closed session at 7:45, up to verbal actions. We move on to item 12, which is director's comments. Dr. Baskin.
I'm sorry, that was 6:45.
Oh, 6:45, thank you. I'm not used to that.
yesterday, and sometimes during weekends, I drive around and people talk to me who've got open doors and hangers, and I fire their airplanes. What happened because of the change in our policy at this board? When we said that, there's gotta be a certain amount of activity or the rent on the hangars go up. Gentleman had the door open and a nice looking, almost finished, very nice airplane. And he asked, was talking to me a bit. And his problem was, he'd been building on this airplane for 6 years. And now had this hangar that he had assembled the airplane in for a long period of time. He's getting harassed by the airport for more rent, because he had not been able to fly the airplane yet. He's probably within about 30 days of flying, but I think we have done something very dysfunctional for this airport. And we put in those clauses that were adopted a year or so ago, where people had to prove that they're flying or the rent goes up. So here's a guy who's put in his money, build an airplane, but spend some of his time to come over here and show his logbooks and other things that he's working on it, and trying to get it flyable. I think we should reverse that as soon as possible. That policy has not brought us one nickel that I know of additional fuel flow. It's brought a lot of people in to deal with staff, get paperwork filled out. There's nothing productive. So that's my comment for the evening.
Thank you, David. No further. Dr. Brown.
Yeah, Dave, I asked, or Director Baskin brought up a point where he said he had a financial arrangement to pay the debt to the airport. He sent me a ton of emails. I looked through everything. The only thing I saw anywhere close was a comment that, after he got a copies of the transcripts from the small claims court hearing, that he would consider paying the bill at that point in time. That's not a financial arrangement, but I was glad to find out that he had 100% did know about the bill and was not paying it. So for some reason, I think Director Baskin thinks I've created everything bad in his life. The reality is, the only thing I did was put the poser out to evict him from the hangar to the general manager. It was voted on unanimously, basically, to do that. And for some reason, he told me in contempt for the everything that's gone bad since then. So anyway, I just want to say that, and I want him to not email me anymore, and not email me anything. That's what I mean.
And I'm gonna have no comment this evening. So I'll take a motion that we adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
All right.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
They put it